Live in the building. Okay. Um, Guys, today the topic of interest is creating self-value. So I'm going to be teaching this video how to love yourself and signs that somebody's not really interested in you and how to um, overcome that. Okay. So I'm going to start with a quote that I read because this all stemmed from a really good conversation I had with this girl on Instagram and it's insightful. So this is the quote. It starts off with this quote that says this: "If you have to beg someone to be in your life, then they don't belong there." And that's such a true revolutionary quote. And the first thing that we have to understand is this: is that people make time for the people they want to make time for. You know what I'm saying nobody's ever too busy. It's just a matter of priorities. And oftentimes we fall for the excuses people make when some well, like maybe you want to hang out with somebody and they say, "Oh, I'm too busy." When they're too busy all the time, it's a sign that they don't really want to hang out with you, yeah, which is the truth. People spend time with the people that they want to spend time with, right? People will call the people they want to call. People will meet up with the people they want to meet up with. It's really that simple. Um, and then there's nothing else to add to that. You know, if somebody wanted to see you, they would have seen you. If somebody really wanted to call you, they would have called you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I understand that people get busy from time to time, but like all the time, there's a good chance that they really don't want to. And oftentimes we get caught up in the cycle of trying to develop relationships with people who are not really interested in developing relationships with. So that's like friendships, relationships, all that stuff. So we get caught up in the what do you call it? The cycle of chasing people. And the thing about chasing people is it lowers your self esteem. It's one of the quickest ways to erode your own self esteem. So when I say chase, I'm not talking about like showing interest. I'm talking about you always putting yourself out there on the line and there being no reciprocation. So you always making the calls, but they never call back. You always going out of your way to meet up with them and they never do the same for you. You always making plans and them always bailing on you. That's what I'm talking about chasing people. And oftentimes when you find yourself in the cycle of chasing people all the time with very little reciprocation or no reciprocation at all, you find one or two things. And it's either one, a sign that you are not loving yourself, and that's often one of the biggest signs that you're not loving yourself, or that or you've given them the role of them being the source of your happiness. That's one of the reasons why you chase people. And another reason that you may be chasing somebody, where you're getting like little to no reciprocation, is that you perceive them to be of higher value than yourself, which is really just a warped perception. And really, what that is the ego. So when I say ego, what the ego is basically the self image or the identity that you have of yourself. So it's anything that makes you feel that you are more significant or less significant than anybody else. That's really the ego. And oftentimes, like through society and everything, we're often fed the idea that, you know what, we're talking about relationships now. So through society, they often feed you the idea of like, you know what, to be in a relationship will make you happy. You need to be in a relationship for you to feel complete, right? A relationship will make you feel so great, right? So that um attaches to the self image that you have of yourself of you thinking that you're not complete or that you're not whole as you are right now. So in order for you to feel whole, you develop the idea that, you know what, I need a relationship. I need to be with somebody. So let's say you come across somebody who you perceive to be of higher value than you, and you want to be in a relationship with, you like them, and you see them as, they're better than me, right? What will happen is you get attached to the idea of, you know what, if I get into a relationship with this person who's of higher value than me, then it proves that I'm high value too. It means that I'm cool too. So you get attached to that idea. So the ego is attached to that. It's thinking, you know what, I will be happy, I'll feel complete, I'll feel amazing when this person gets involved in a relationship with me, or when I am with this person, then that means that I am cool, right? And oftentimes this begins when like the person that you see of that is higher status shows you a little bit of attention. So they show you a bit of attention. You feel good about yourself. You're like, you know what? I am pretty cool. I got it going on, because they're giving you that attention. They're feeding you that validation. So because you've had a bit of attention from that person, you feel good, you feel great, and maybe they leave. So you think, okay, cool. I feel great when I'm with this person. This person makes me feel like I am whole. You get caught up in the cycle of trying to chase them because you want to feel that sense of I wouldn't say joy. Joy isn't the right word. That sense of self satisfaction because they're attached to. So you start chasing them, right? So you chase them. You're like, oh, you know what? Let's hang out. Let's meet up for food. Let me give you a call or give me a call. They don't do that. They don't reciprocate your efforts, and them not reciprocating your efforts is like rejection to you. It's like it bruises the ego because it's like, oh damn, I must not be that cool because they're not reciprocating the efforts that I am giving forth. If that makes sense. If I was cool, in your mind, you're saying if I was cool, if I was amazing, they'll be reciprocating the efforts that I'm giving. So you kind of feel like you're rejected in some type of way. So you get caught up in that cycle. So it's kind of like this. Let me give you a better analogy because I don't know if I'm really making sense. But it's kind of like this. It's like if you're on Instagram somewhere, or you're addicted to likes, or you're attached to the validation of people, you're attached to likes from people. Whenever you post pictures on Instagram, whenever you upload, you get loads of likes and you feel good about yourself. You're like, ha ha ha, you know what? I've got it. I'm pretty cool. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it feeds the ego. It feeds the idea that it feeds the self-image because you've attached your self-image to say that, you know what, if I'm cool, people will like my stuff, right? So the next time you post, maybe you post something similar, and you don't get as many likes, you don't get as many likes, you kind of feel like, okay, maybe my posts aren't that good. Maybe I'm not as cool as I thought I was. So you post again, and maybe the likes don't reach the same heights again. Maybe they're lower this time. You feel a little bit worse about yourself. You're like, okay, okay, maybe not that great, kind of thing. So in order for you to get that high again, in order for you to feel good about yourself again, you need to get those likes. So what do you start to do? You start to try do more. You try to post more things, or things that you think people will like more. So maybe you start off with a selfie, but now you're thinking, man, I need more likes. So maybe you start showing a bit more skin. So maybe you show like a little bit of bosom, maybe a bit of chest. Show a little bit of chest. Okay, let me show a little bit of my body. You get loads more likes. It's cool, right? The cycle begins again. Then maybe you don't get the maybe the next time you post you don't get that many likes, so you have to do more. So you start showing a little bit more body, a bit more skin, a bit more flesh, until you get to the point that you're almost naked and you're getting loads of validation from that thing. If that makes sense. I don't know if it's making sense, but I'm trying to make the point. Well, the more point I'm trying to make is this: is that you get attached to the validation from the person. So back to the relationships, you get attached to the validation from that person. Your ego is being fed from that person. Okay, whew, I need to get to the point where I'm going. So you need to learn to become self-aware. So because you're attached to the validation from that person, because you're attached to the validation of the person that you see as higher value than you, it makes you crave it more. So it creates that cycle where you get addicted to somebody. You get addicted to the attention of somebody. It's kind of like what they say. They say rejection breeds obsession. That's how it works. So that is what it is. So what I'm trying to teach you guys is to learn to create self value within yourself. So learn to love yourself. Learn to see yourself as high status, and learn to really understand who you really are. You have to understand that we are all equals. There's nobody who is better than anybody else. It's just a matter of perception. And you'll find that when you really understand who you are, and when you understand that you have a lot of value to carry, you won't um you won't do the most to try to accommodate people. So you won't sacrifice your own happiness and your own joy to accommodate people in your life. You won't sacrifice your own self esteem to try to keep people around. It's kind of like the alchemist with gold. Like an alchemist makes gold. You don't see an alchemist trying to begging people to buy his gold, so he creates gold. You don't see him going around saying, "Please buy my gold." If somebody doesn't want to buy the gold, they're like, you know what, whatever. It doesn't really matter. The reason they don't care is because they know that the value of the gold is apparent. They know that the loads of other people who want to buy the gold, they know that the loads of people who are interested in gold and who will buy their product because their product is good. So it's the same thing with you guys. You need to understand that you carry value. You have to understand who you really are, that you're limitless. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that you can't do. And when you understand that, and when you start to cultivate a good relationship with yourself, you won't tolerate a whole bunch of nonsense. When people don't reciprocate, efforts, you be like, okay, whatever, cool. And the way that you create value or self value is by creating a life that you enjoy. So that's the first step, creating a life that you enjoy. Because you have to learn to be happy within yourself first. Relationships and all that stuff are supplements. They're there to add to the good life that you have already. So like, you want to fill your life with things that you enjoy to do. You want to learn to cultivate a good relationship with yourself. So um how to go about this? So try to give you a good example. So learn to be comfortable in your own skin. So one way you can do this is through affirmations. I talk about affirmations all the time, but it's because they work. Affirmations work, I'm telling you. So you want to learn to like look in the mirror and be able to say like, look, I love myself. I am happy with myself the way I am right now. And oftentimes that's a hard thing for people to do because there's certain aspects of yourself that you may not like. So you're like, I don't like my body, I don't like my face. But just by you doing that, You train yourself to accept yourself, and you find when you do that, you find resistance within yourself. You find that the parts of yourself that you don't like to see, you find thoughts pop up in your mind that you may think that I'm not good enough or whatever. Though those will arise. That's natural. But it's learning to accept that and saying, okay, look, cool. I may not like this aspect of myself, but this is what it is. You know, it's fine. Okay. And just by accepting, um, you develop the motivation to change the things that you can change, and you learn to accept the things that you can't change. Okay, so it's about you developing a life that you enjoy. That's how you create value. A life that you enjoy. Um, that's that's it, really. You need to learn to love yourself because you having a life that you enjoy is is like ice cream. So it's kind of like ice cream. You know, ice cream is great. You get your cone and stuff like you enjoying your life is like ice cream. An additional relationship is kind of like sprinkles. No, sprinkles to the ice cream. They add to the goodness of the ice cream. Ice cream is good on its own. You like ice cream. I like ice cream. Ice cream's good, but when you have the sprinkles, yeah, it adds to the good flavor that the ice cream already has. If that makes sense. So relationships are there to add to you. They're not there to be the source of your happiness. The relationship is not the ice cream. The relationship is the sprinkles. Um, I hope that's made sense. Yeah, I've been talking for like 11 minutes. I've been talking a lot. Okay, let me see the comments. Show love chat messages. So say none. Did anyone want to say anything? Did I make sense? Oh, Josh, you're the greatest. Thank you. That wasn't even a comment. I'd like you to comment that though. Okay. Well, it seems that there are no questions here. So if you have any questions, hit me up, comment below, or hit me up on my Instagram. I normally broadcast that on other videos. But I am done now, guys. So goodbye. Toodles.